So for this assignment, we had to talk to a friend about an issue that was happening to them and just simply listen. I wasn't quite sure who I was going to ask, but by coincidence, a friend of mine called me up the other day and asked if he could talk with me. He sounded very upset and distressed, so I agreed. This friend, let's call him Bob, has been my friend for about 4 years now. We met my freshman year, his junior year, and the following year we actually roomed together. Since then he graduated Concordia, but we've kept in touch, and he was recently groomsman actually at my wedding. Of course, with our lives being what they are, I don't get to see him very often in person anymore, especially not in comparison to when we would hang out in college. But we have a Snapchat streak going, making sure we at least send one funny picture to each other every day to make sure we stay in touch. I would say that despite the distance and not seeing each other regularly, he's still one of my closest friends, proven by the fact that we are still talking to each other and connected, despite my tendency to let my friends go once we're no longer in regular physical contact. Thankfully, I recently moved much closer to where he actually lives, so when he called me, we were able to meet in person. When I came over, he talked for a long time. He had been having some relationship trouble that he was at a loss of what to do. I sat and listened to what he had to say for about an hour, not saying a whole lot. Well, he just vented and let out a lot of frustration that he had been having. But in the end, he really just wanted a different perspective. Someone to bounce what had been happening off of and hear what they had to say. He wanted advice on how to fix the issues that they were having. Now, that's a very tall order and not very easily to fix, especially since after hearing everything, I felt that he might be in the wrong. Obviously, being told that you're wrong is not an easy thing to hear. However, because of the close relationship that we share, he seemed to be very receptive to what I had to say. And because I was able to cite specific things from what had happened to him and the things that he had gone to, it proved to him that I cared enough not only to listen and pay attention, but that I wasn't agreeing or disagreeing with him simply for the sake of it, that I was giving him the best advice that I could give. Overall, I think listening is a very important strategy when talking to someone about their issues. And in every case should be the very first step taken, because you can't really give advice or even help somebody if you haven't listened to what they have to say and don't really know where they're coming from. For some people and some issues, listening is all you need to do. They just need to sit down and vent and get something off their chest, talk about their day, talk about their relationship, and then they'll feel better. But in my experience, for the vast majority of these situations, listening is just the first step. In order to really help someone, you need to talk to them. Give them assurance that you're not only listening to their problems, that you're not only sitting there with a blank stare, but you're actively listening and care about the problems and, by extension, care about them.